time right now.
Welcome to Sideline2Baseline with your hosts MB and K. Lewis. We got Back to the Future. That means Miami back, MB.
Is that what that for, man? I thought you watched Back to the Future movie, man. I thought somebody
I'm
do
just
movie
hoping we
crazy.
got a time machine, man.
Oh man, good lord.
MB Crystal Ball done a ride. MB told us if there was a guy that checked all the boxes, he checked all of them and some more. He's one of them, and he bringing them back home. Miami back to top 5 in recruiting. That's me talking.
Yeah.
They showing out, man.
They're top 5 with the average of the quality player, but not for the quantity of player.
Yeah,
So
right now I think
they
we
still
will
have a
sign
small
9
class.
players or
Yeah.
got 9 committed, 9 signed. I don't know what they call it nowadays because they had the early signing period. So yeah, he's heading in the right direction. I mean, that's the first step. I mean, like I said before, when you look at the guys from the coaches that really did a good job, they went out and identified the talent. They went and got the talent, and then they brought them back to develop the talent. And then once you get the talent, develop it, you got to make sure they play. So right now, right now I knew he'll check that box as far as going recruiting. And so he's a relentless recruiter. So let's see what staff he put together, and then how well they develop them, and then see what happened on game day. So it's a couple more boxes to check, K. Lou.
Now it's interesting that you say that, and this has nothing to do with Miami, but that development word. It seems to me, and I'm going across college football, that it's almost like everybody wants them ready-made now. And it's almost like the kid is getting punished if he isn't living up to what we recruited him for. So somebody right behind him that may come in and show early success moves him out of the way. And like you said, that development word, yeah, we're not seeing that, but it's almost like basketball, like now, like it's almost like the one and done rule. Like if you really look at Dukes and Kentucky's, and I actually don't like this what's going on at my university, but if you look at those guys that are supposed to be one and done, if they're not, notice what happens to them the following season. Not very much. They go to a bench role, and the guys that are in the next group of one and dones take over.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I sense that's what I felt like was happening across college football.
You feel like that's happening in college football?
College football, exactly. Like not in one particular school, but it's like you're not seeing that D word that you talking about development.
Yeah. See, I don't know. That's a good point. I think. Yeah, that's a good point. I think what's happening. Well, I don't know. Let me ponder
Well,
that. That's a
Well,
good
when I
thought.
look at it, watch this, MB. It's like the guys that we hear about that come in and make like some early noise.
Yeah.
Then what happens to them the following year? Not all the time do we see them step out and make that next step or that next step that we all expect. And I don't care what the school is, MB. I'm talking about that guy that,
Yeah.
like, man, oh, I remember him, boy. I know next year he gonna be, and then next year we like, what happened to him?
And then when you look at it from a team perspective, K-Lou, you don't see those senior-led teams with 18 seniors. So what was interesting watching this early signing day thing is every one of these kids said, "Oh, I'm going to be there for the next. I hope this is I'm going to give the next 3 or 4 years of my life." I'm like, everyone thinks they're coming out after 3 years. I'm like, man, that's the exception.
Right.
That ain't the rule.
Right.
But in their heads, because of I don't know if it's social media or the real time initial, it's that quick. That's what they're being told.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to ponder that a little bit more because my initial thoughts well, first of all, it's based on the situation because you're right. You do have some coaches, right, that I mean they're on the hot seat. They got to win now, but their focus may be, well, let me hit this transfer portal because I know I can get instant success right there, and I can get a guy that's proven to come in right away. So you see that free agency. We'll just label that college free agency. You see a lot of people now taking advantage of that, and they could turn their season around. Like Michigan State, they got a running back. He's led the nation, you know what I'm saying, and made a big impact. So you see that. But I don't know, I would still think for majority of it, when you look at that development standpoint, I think I would put more so the player now is not being patient, just like Double A saying, like they're coming in and say, man, I'm 3 years and out, But and so when they don't play right away and have early success, then those guys, you see majority of them trying to go to the transfer portal. Nobody
I'm not blaming the school. So
no, I'm not.
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm not saying like the coaches aren't developing. I'm just saying we're not seeing these kids develop and become that and take those next steps and then become like Double A said, and this will speak to your point even more, that senior led team that's got 18 to 20 seniors, and like you're not gonna beat them just because they're never gonna beat themselves. We ain't seeing that on nobody roster.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. You don't see that, especially in this day and age. Cincinnati was one of the few teams that's like got like 20 something seniors.
See, right? That was the norm.
Yeah, and then
Wake Forest was like that too. It's the smaller schools is where you're going to see that. So every few years they're going to pop up with these senior-led teams that they're going to play good football most of the year.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying right now. I thought initially you were saying, well, from the coach's standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but in general, yeah, I agree with that because and just like I added to it, it's just a lot of different factors that go into that development,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense kids don't want to wait. They want it now,
Right.
And if they're not popping off right now, then they're gone. And then, like you say, you got some coaches that they're on the hot seat and they can't afford, they want to win now, so their focus is on trying to get, tag the free agency and go get it fixed right now. And so their emphasis is on, winning right now. So that's where their attention going to be. So, yeah, I understand you better now. I definitely agree with that assessment.
And even speaking on that win now thing, we obviously spoke about it last week with Michigan State, how it benefited that coach and got him,
10-year
deal,
big time,
yeah,
big time money.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, Double A, you mentioned pre-show that Dabo's complaining. Well, Dabo's one of those coaches that felt like he was immune to that and didn't want to touch it. Now he's a proponent of it. And like, I got to join in with the Joneses. Basically, his program, if he doesn't fix holes this year, his program goes and takes another step back, MB. If he doesn't fill holes this year. So he needs to figure out quick, probably bring Manny to his staff because Manny did a heck of a job fixing holes in Miami.
Manny's gone.
Manny went to Penn State
now.
But it is. It's too late. Oh, hey, it's too late. But think about it. Like, he needs to now call some of these guys to figure out how they did it. Because he's in that situation where we're like, man, the few guys we thought you had besides Jason's running back, Shipley, they're on their way out. I mean, I know me and MB didn't want to put everything on DJ, so I still have some belief in DJ, the quarterback. However, that the receiver gone. The only bright spot, offensively, besides Shipley, according to Jason, he's out of there.
Yeah.
He's got two coordinators to replace too, don't forget.
Well, that's the thing.
Dabo lost both his coordinators.
Oh, yeah. That's huge, and that's what he was also immune to. Yeah. He was able to hold his staff together for a very long time. So now he has to enter that realm of uncertainty, and I think he's that type of guy that I think is going to want to touch the microphone a little bit more now.
You say touch the microphone? What you mean?
Yeah, meaning like being on that headset and getting involved more with what's going on in the field with play calling.
Oh,
and,
well, he's
on both sides of the ball.
Well, I know offense, he's been doing it. He's been involved,
Right.
Him and Tony Elliott, they was calling the game there. But you're right, defensively, he did. But one thing he did, he hired within. He promoted within. Let me say that.
Correct.
If that's a better form.
Correct.
Because he took the guy that was a defense analyst, and he took I think Mickey Joseph. Oh no, Con Mickey, something like that. He was a safety coach. He made those guys a coordinator. So that's a good thing. At least he's keeping the system involved, But obviously, Brent Venables was the reason why he was the highest paid assistant in college football. And those definitely some big shoes to replace. So it's definitely so. But with the talent they have, and they still, do a good job recruiting. Hopefully they can get this thing turned. Well, they can get back to where they need to be.
I'm thinking they on that. I mean, like Double A just said, missing those coordinators, not really having the star power we're accustomed to them having over the past 10 years. I don't see it, MB.
I don't know. Well. Let me say this, and this is where it becomes tricky, right? Because a lot of times when you have I call it, say, a dynasty, or you're doing well, right? Usually what happens is you either get on probation, something happened, you get a flat tire, something happened, or, like you say, the coordinators leave or somebody leave that was really holding that thing together. So right now, last year was, based on their standard, a down year, and you're saying, okay, is this going to continue, or is it just a bump in the road and they'll be back on track? And I don't know. I don't know. I think they still got talents. They still do a good job of developing their players. So I don't know. K-Lou. And I say this because of Miami example, right? When Butch Davis left, right, and Coker took over, right? They was winning, 2 or 3 years after Butch left, but then it gradually started going down. You see what I'm saying? Because of identifying the players, developing the players, and then making sure when they come on game day ready to go, that glue started dwindling away, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm sure it's other factors. So I don't know what's missing at Clemson to say, dang, is what's holding that thing together. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, so I get it, but why now? Going back to Double A's point, why now do the coordinators both decide the same year I'm out?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with Dabo, right? Because
I'm not saying Dabo. I'm saying they're looking at what's going. Like a Texas A&M Jimbo looked in that locker room and said, "Ain't nothing behind that."
I'm out of here.
Okay, and
that's what I'm saying.
And K-Lou, maybe you're right. There's no way to verify that. But outside looking in, I know with Brent Venables, because he turned down plenty of jobs, and Tony Elliott turned down plenty of jobs.
That's what I'm saying.
But,
why now?
I'm saying, but Brent, right? His son was there and whatnot, right? Playing for him and stuff. So he had the opportunity to coach his son
too.
So to me, I'm sure this situation, Oklahoma he comes from Oklahoma. I mean, I'm sure Dabo is like, man, I'm pushing you to leave, right? And then with Tony Elliott, he has some opportunities. He was interviewed for the Auburn job last year. I don't think, in my opinion, right? I don't think they left because they feel like the program's going down. I just feel like this opportunity came now, regardless how you feel about Tony Elliott with Virginia, right? If that's one of those dream jobs. But Brent Venables going to Oklahoma is definitely a dream job. So yes. He's got to go no matter what. I don't care. He's got to go. Even in a heyday that comes available, he's got to go because he spends so much time there and whatnot. And he went to Kansas State. It's just I would have made him leave, right?
They threw him an offer that was too good to be true, so he had no choice. For
Tony
him.
Elliott, Virginia, you can maybe something there. I don't know, but I don't know, K-Lou. I'm not quick to say they left because they see the ship going down. That's just my opinion. Wait, what you got? Oh, you still unpacking?
No, that's my wife.
Tell her we said hi
from the camera.
Tell her I said hi.
She used the box.
Hey, K-Lou, it's holidays and she may got a trouble. She trying to get stuff done. She ain't got time for that. The show.
What is that going across
the show? The show needs to revolve around me. I got things to do. But yeah, K-Lou, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't think so. Just with Brent Venables, to me, it's a no-brainer job for him to leave for Oklahoma.
But why
did it became the highest paid first head coach, period, in Oklahoma. I mean, to me, that was a no-brainer.
But Elliott leaving is an alarm, because why would you take that Virginia job? You can only go so far with Virginia, right?
I don't know. He turned down Auburn. Well, I don't know if he turned down Auburn, but he interviewed with Auburn, so he has some things. So I don't know Virginia. I don't know that dude personally. So I don't know if based on his personality, because Virginia is kind of like Duke in the sense of the academic and that type of, they got that atmosphere they looking for, the way they carry themselves. And then I know from them they got a black AD, they got black leaders. So I know they were committed based on the people that they interviewed, that they was committed on getting a African American head coach.
And Anthony Poindexter, that is a Virginia guy,
exactly,
turned it down. Like,
I think he interviewed, but I don't know if he took his name out of the hat. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, but I know they were committed. It seemed based on the action, they was committed to get because I was about to call my boy Chris Richard, man, you need to go interview. They seem like they looking for African American. They looking to get somebody a chance. So I don't know, but let me ask you this: why you think, other than the down year this year, why you think that they're sinking, they're going down?
Well, because it seems like when Trevor was there, they were loaded, both sides of the football. Then you move right to his senior year when he came back, or was he a junior? Junior, yeah. Yep. So his last year, his junior year, he comes back, and you could start seeing the holes there. Because remember, he had to really run the ball then and really kind of start carrying the team. And Etienne. Yeah, he had Etienne back there too. But it was like he had to do more, because the game plan was like, Etienne ain't gonna beat us. Like, we finna hit him. So you better do something. And he lacked his last year there. He lacked the ability to go outside and have playmakers consistently make plays for him. And we had never saw that before since his tenure there. They always were better than you outside. And I'm talking about, didn't matter if you was Ohio State or Alabama. They were better than you outside. Right. It's not even close. From his last year, his junior year there, they weren't better than you outside. And definitely, afterwards, they haven't been better than you outside this year. So that's how I'm looking at them. Defensively, they've always been able to make enough plays because they blitz every down.
Yeah.
And so they're able to make enough plays, and then they had gotten so good up front, both and defensively. But the defense actually, I felt like, underachieved with, remember just a year ago, we were talking about them having that true freshman 3 technique or nose was an animal.
He got hurt.
I can't remember his name, MB.
Well, I think it's Wilkerson or something W. But somebody got hurt on their D line.
Okay, so he may have been down this year, but it showed. But think about this. We'll put this behind it. When did that matter before? They always had another one. They always had outside guys pass rushing. I'm just like, man, it just felt like Venables had to really work every game just for them to be in the game. It felt, I had that feeling all last year and this year for them defensively. I wasn't used to that. And then, like I said, I talked about offensively. It was like they could score with anybody. Yeah, and you didn't see that again. And both MB and myself kind of kept fighting Jason about, man, we really don't feel like he has the help. And he trying to tell us all these guys, and MB and I don't see him.
You don't see it on film, that's for sure.
We tend to yield to Jason because he know what I mean, kind of everything that happens there. But man, just when we pulling up the video and looking at the tape, they ain't separating and jumping over people like we've seen them do in the past.
The warning signs are there, and it'll be year 3. So year 3, and he's whining in the press about the way recruiting's going. He don't have his coordinators, so he's making excuses in the offseason. That ain't a good sign.
Yeah, so let me clear up my statement a little bit more. So because you just made me understand. So so you're saying like it's two reasons why I think programs go down well right offhand based on especially what you're saying. Obviously, I said probation, and I think I said this, but I want to say it clear because you brought about poor job in recruiting and developing a player. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. The reason why Alabama and now Georgia, they're being consistent, or teams being consistent because they keep recruiting. They recruiting to bring in the talent and develop them. And that's the discussion though. But because Clemson, I mean, they getting the 5 stars, right?
Right.
But that's the question I brought up to y'all, and you'll start laughing. Just because a rival stepped them with the 5-star don't mean they can play. You know, the chance, because when you look at it before I say if we're using NFL as a standard, right? I read somewhere like 50% of the players that are 5, it's either boom or bust. Either they go first round or they don't get drafted at all. Majority, you know what I'm saying, based on NFL stat. But what I'm saying though, so maybe now it's a poor job of recruiting or developing that now, because right now they have no probation. You gotta get some ballers, right? And they've been getting the rivals 5-star ballers, and let's say take your argument, if you're 5-star you could play, then what's happening to that? It's not transitioning to the field. So I agree with your assessment in regards to when Trevor was there. I mean, I was like, it was to me, because I was calling the UM games. I was like, man, it's just him and NTN. It's just him and Travis. And then Rogers started developing as the season went on, who got drafted by the Green Bay Packers. That return guy number 8.
And he was a senior, MB.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
he should have came on.
Right. But I'm just saying though, you didn't see those firepowers on the outside or that talent where it just separate. Then you had another guy who was trying from a receiver from Alabama, he was a freshman from Alabama. He was from Alabama. What is his name, Ross?
Yeah, the receiver.
Yeah, and he was like a freshman, and he was like showing up a little bit. But I mean, but you're right though. Trevor last year, I mean, you didn't see it as much. You saw the holes a little bit, and then now with DJ, because DJ's not can't read or whatever, he's not efficient as Trevor, right? It's even more glaring, right? The lack of I hate to say talent, but ballers, right? Ballers around. Let me use that term. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they're self-inflicted wounds, because not developing their players. And then the other thing I'm looking for, I was just trying to research is injuries. You know, they could have been hit by the injury bug. I don't know.
Yeah, I think some coaches, and I think Dabo may have been a victim of this, get a little bit complacent because everything is running like a well-oiled machine. And you got those coordinators on the road. And Brent Venables, they talked about how great of a recruiter he is. And Dabo was one of the better recruiters when he was out there as an assistant coach. He was the one who brought CJ Spiller in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then he was able to go. Actually, I think this was CJ Spiller's first year on their staff too.
Yeah, CJ's on the staff.
Yeah. So I just think, man, like sometimes you can be a victim of your own success because you got everybody, everybody, ain't nothing changing, and then all of a sudden you start getting chinks in the armor and nobody's really noticing it because you talk to Jason, like even him. And those are the best ones to talk to, the guys who are fans and love it, because you're talking to them about it and they're like, where? I don't see that, this and that. He's the problem. And I'm like, wow, okay. So for me, it's always funny because I'm like, man, you ain't watching the same game I'm watching. And now, again, like you said, Brent Venables, man, that's huge. They could afford to lose Tony Elliott. Man, listen, what you knew when you played Clemson was you were going to have to come in there with an offensive game plan, a winning offensive game plan.
Match them at least.
I don't know if they have that. They're going to garner that kind of respect anymore.
Well, let me say this. Like I said, I don't know him as well, but I'm trying to figure out what's the reason. Because, like I said, usually when you got it running, because I know Dabo, I don't know in person, but I know based on his action, like he values recruiting. When I was a coach at UM, I was like, you could tell, like, and I labeled this, and you laugh, but I say, man, they recruit like the SEC, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They recruit like the Alabama, I mean, they camp with that mindset. That's how they recruit. You know what I'm saying? They recruit like that. So I know he valued recruiting because Clemson, no disrespect to South Carolina, but it's not a natural recruiting ground. You know what I'm saying? It's not a fertile recruiting. Right.
Absolutely. They don't get very many players out of there at all.
They got to go like the Dangerous Catch TV show. They got to go out there and catch theirs. They got to go.
They come straight to Florida and Georgia.
They come. They got to go to Fort Myers where they go. They got to go to Georgia. At the end, they got him out of Louisiana. So they got to go get their players because if they can't survive. So based on his actions, right? I know he value recruiting. You know, so that's what I'm saying. Man, unless they missing on some guys, but based on his words, this article came out November 18th. He say Dabo say Tigers could beat a lot of people with injured players and transfers. So based on his mouth, he's saying that the reason why they're not where they're at because of injured players and transfers. You know,
right?
That's what's affecting them. You know,
so you adapt or die. I mean, is it a case of where he got successful and then he expected people to come to Clemson? He didn't have to go out and work to go get them?
Like I said, I wouldn't think based on his actions, I wouldn't say that. I think he really understands the importance of recruiting. That's the lifeline of the program. I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see. Right, based on his mouth, whether we believe it or not, he's saying the reason is because of this is November 18th, so 1 month before the season's over. But he's saying because of injured players and transfers, you know. And then he went through his offensive line. He said, "Look, I could read a little bit if you don't mind." He rattled off the injured players and transfers that the Tigers could put together on the offense with offensive line. He lost Brock Hurst, Williams, and Pendleton, and some guy, Tycho and T. Johnson. You got 5 linemen right there. Galloway at tight end, Dixon, Dukes at running back, Dixon and Dukes at running back. You got J. Ross and Latson and Naga. I said Naga, good Lord.
Yeah,
forgive me.
Yeah.
Naga, Sutton, Taylor, and Spector. And then you put forth Will Taylor at quarterback. We have a whole offense. That'll be pretty good offense right there, you know? And then he mentioned some guy got hurt, injured, you know. So
does that point to off-season conditioning?
That's the problem, K-Lou.
We'll see. What I want to know. What I want to know though is were those starters? You know what I'm saying? Like everybody.
And that's what he's saying. He said, and I don't know the roster. I wish Jason hurry up and come on, but he's saying these guys are. I guess he's saying they're starters. You know.
That's kind of hard. Like that's the most hurt team in the history of football. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole.
Well, he said hurt and transfer, K-Lou.
Okay. Oh my God.
He said hurt and transfer. I think the ones that was hurt, K-Lou, was Williams had a Johnson tore his pec. Williams had an underclosed injury. Pendleton had his ACL, played only 4 snaps. Okay, here's the guy. He breaks them down, K-Lou. So Tiacho, what is TCHIO?
Tiacho.
Tad Ocho cousin, right? Whoever that guy, Dixon and Dukes, all into the transfer portal. And Galloway has been injured since his shoulder since Pitt. So you got, and then Ross had a stretch fracture in his foot. And Latson is out with the season with a groin injury. And that word I said, NGATA, is dealing with the foot injury. And Spector hasn't played this season after contracting COVID early this year. And Taylor suffered season-ending ACL injury, you know? So I don't know, K-Lou, if he like, you know, you ask somebody some money, they turn their pockets, man, I ain't got no money, you know, got the money in the hand. I don't know what it is. But like I said, you're right. I saw what you saw last year as far as even when Lauren's there. I was like, man, other than Travis, man, they ain't really got a lot of ballers around them, you know? And the O-line was kind of questionable, you know what I'm saying? So, and this year just got more so. But I don't know. I don't know. I still think I don't know what I'm hoping that's not the case. Let me put it that way.
They looked like a middle of the road ACC team for most of the year.
Correct.
I mean, they were impressive against Georgia early on as far as in a defensive battle. Opening the year that was impressive, but we now know a lot more about Georgia as well.
Right.
But the amazing thing is when you think about it, is you look at Saban. Alabama and Georgia always keep the recruiting going, but Saban's been poached for his coordinators for
every year,
5 or 10 years now.
Yeah,
every year,
and he keeps reloading. So
and K-Lou, you know what? I'm sorry, but that was just on the offensive side of the thing. They got injuries on defense. We're missing the D line and stuff like that. But go ahead, Double. I agree with what you're saying.
It might be a case of he got fat sitting on the hog, and you're in South Carolina and COVID hits, and these guys the off-season conditioning might point to why you have so many injuries as well.
MB, and I'm gonna tell you this: if you notice with me, I'm real when it comes to this. During basketball season, I do not allow Duke to get a pass for anything. Do I?
No.
Why? Because we get the best kids.
Right.
So we're not allowed to start making excuses. Because the whole roster is 5 stars. Okay. Right. The whole roster is blue chippers. So I don't care that we lost the starting 5. The second 7 you'll still be winning. Okay. And so you're not gonna ever let me I'm not gonna allow Alabama to get a pass. I'm not gonna allow Georgia to get a pass. I'm not gonna allow Clemson to get a pass. It's not gonna happen. So cry me a river, Dabo, but you can't finish 10 years in a row in top 10 recruiting and tell me you don't have players.
No, so K-Lou, so in your opinion then, because you was bringing this up, you feel like the ship is sinking and dudes now getting off?
Yeah. Right? Oh, definitely.
And why?
Definitely, because I look.
What you think the cause is?
Well, I'm with you. Obviously, they recruited still well according to rivals and all them, but they missed. Because we all know, everybody that you call a 5-star ain't a 5-star. Everybody that you signed to a Division I scholarship ain't a Division I player. However, again, I'm not giving them the excuses. I think they missed on recruits, number one. And I think Dabo didn't see the writing on the wall. At some point, these guys are going to get poached. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even if they wouldn't have left, they would have started picking off the assistants that were around them. Like, at some point, you built something so good that you're going to get poached. But Nick, how did Nick fix that? He made SEC bend some rules, and he started bringing them analysts. So Nick don't care that he knows he's going to lose 6 or 7 every year. Why? Because 2 or 3 get jobs, and they take 2 or 3 with them.
and so he's 3 deep with his coordinators.
Right. So his analysts are who's who of college and pro football. Every year. So he's planning around that. Dabo didn't. He brought one analyst, but he's co-coordinating with another position coach defensively. Yeah. So they're gonna call it's 2 defensive coordinators, co guys. I
know one of it's Mickey, and I told you, but
I know Jason.
I don't know format how they call it. I don't. Okay, so
but I'm just saying again, when you're successful. Nick has proven to us when you're successful, they coming to get him. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Like, prepare for that. So he didn't. So again, cry me a river. I don't care. Like, get it done. You're a blue chip football program. Get it done. Everybody's trying to get to that point.
I know Jason's not here to defend, but now you've got Trevor Lawrence sitting in Jacksonville with a 2-and-something team. Maybe he wants his college coach to come in, the right college
y'all
coach.
Laughed at me. I said that should have happened anyway.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I said
I thought it was going to happen. I thought it was going to happen last year. But K-Lou, I don't know. Like, I hear what you're saying, and you're right. First of all, Nick, I mean, he sets the standard. I look at, I go back when I was coaching at Miami. I mean, like that. the SEC, the way they handle the NC2A, they kind of like a great accountant, right? They not breaking the rules, but they get to that green area. They find those loopholes,
Creative,
where you make like millions of dollars, but you don't pay taxes. It's like whoever does like Donald Trump taxes, that's what they do, right?
Right.
And they always found the way to fix the rule and change. They like before the analysts, they were the ones that were hire weight training coaches, and put them in the weight room so they could spend more time with the players in the off season, So they were always had a way to work the system in their favor.
right?
And they forced the change. With GAs, they'll make an old dude a GA. They'll find a way, quality control. They find a way where they maximize the thing. And so by all means, I agree. Like nobody's doing it on Saban level. I mean, you look at his staff now. He's got Bill O'Brien, who's a former NFL head coach,
right?
Is the OC, and he got a Doug Marrone, who was the head coach of Jacksonville Jaguars, is a position coach at the O-line. Yeah, and he had Charlie Strong as an analyst, who was a head coach, and so countless. And you just look at it. He don't care. He'll bring them in. But
he's doing that, MB, because he know that the other one's gone.
Yeah, exactly. So you build in, and so you build in that right. Somebody leave you not only with the players you reload, right?
Right.
You somebody leave. You see right now, Bryce Young come in. Right. Somebody leave, somebody else come in, right? But now with the coaches he reload, and Dabo I don't know how, but it seemed to me based on looking at his staff, it's not as decorated, obviously, at Alabama, but it's like the little brother with Alabama. They trying to do it. They got some analysts, and it's just this not the first time you say prepare for it. I think look outside looking in. I mean, obviously, Venables a huge loss, but it's no different than Georgia losing. Alabama losing Kirby Smart, right, to Georgia. So we got to see if these guys can step up. But remember, before Elliott, though, he had two coaches that Jeff Scott that was calling the play. Matter of fact, Jeff Scott and I think Elliott was OC. They shared co-OC.
Scott's now here at USF, right?
Yes. And I think he had another guy that was the OC before him. So to me, he has, in that sense, outside looking in now, I'm not like Jason, but outside looking in, look like he has prepared, got the dudes in waiting. So I don't know that. I mean, to his defense, it's not as decorated as Nick, because I'm looking at these analysts, right? And I don't know none of it. I don't know who they are.
Right.
So I don't know, but it seemed to me like it's not a lack of that. I guess that's what I'm saying. If I'm play outside looking in, I don't know for sure, but it seems like he's trying to do it at least, because he's done it when the offensive coordinator.
And he said something too that was seems like a recipe for disaster. But he's going, like Double A said, he gonna be he could definitely be the senator there or the governor, because he said he wants to hire from within. He really wants to do that when at all possible. So that means he gonna give y'all every single chance in the world to get this job, unless it's just glaringly you can't handle it. Yeah. So he can't go out and get people that we know, MB, because when they come in, they're being told, hey, when this guy go, like Nick's telling them, hey, he go, you replace him. Like Bill O'Brien already knew. Hey, Sark gone after this season, so you gonna come right in and do it. So just learn our ways, and then when you come in, you do your thing.
Right. No doubt. So I mean, Nick's doing it at elite level. He's setting the standard.
He's the CEO, and he's built in what they call in business redundancy. He's got the backup's backup.
Right.
Well, Double A. He's stealing people coaching trees. Yeah. Where they was under one tree, they come down. Now they under here.
I want a little of this, a little of that.
Right. and to me, that I was saying, he's setting the blueprint, and a lot of people especially people who's connected with him are following. Now, Dabo is not connected directly to Nick, you know, but he went to Alabama. So I'm sure they're looking at, and that's where the whole analyst, he's setting the table. Because you look at Kirby, right? Kirby just lost his defensive coordinator, right, to Oregon. He became the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Well, who was one of his analysts this year? Will Muschamp.
Wow.
So now that guy left, and now Will
steps right in.
Step right in, you know? So that's what I'm saying. Like, Nick has showing the blueprint for a lot of people. He taking the lead, and a lot of people are following him. So, I mean, like I said, those dudes are definitely paving the way.
Only difference, MB, you go to Alabama to get you a head job.
Yes.
So, like you one and done head job wise.
Exactly. Especially if you in one of those positions like that. You know, you definitely. I'm trying to look on the staff now, see who his analysts are now, but it's not. I'm talking about with Alabama, because before, like, I was like, he's there. You know what I'm saying?
Urban Meyer just came.
Right.
Oh, he's down there. You know he's there. What better place to revitalize your reputation?
Hey, Urban right there, baby. He took Stark after Stark. Remember now,
after Stark,
it's amazing that Sarkisian got a job right now after what he did at USC. But I mean, he's looked at as I'll take.
He did it for Lane. He did it for Lane. He did it for Kiffin. They've all been revitalized there.
Yeah,
it's definitely the fountain of youth, man. They like you said, revitalized. Again, they mojo back in Alabama. If I mean, you get fired, you go there, boom, and then boom, you go somewhere else.
You're right back.
He's. I mean, just I don't know. It's just the connection, and it don't take much, you know.
Wow.
I think Jason had a problem with a deer. He said.
Oh wow. Yeah. So he. I don't know if he hit him or what.
I don't think he in Florida with that stuff.
No, we got deer in Florida.
So
but that's rare. What part of Florida?
Mentioned about? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. What part of Florida we running over deers? Like
probably the West. You know,
I live east of 75. I got deers at night on our roads, man.
Like Gainesville, Ocala. Do they have deers there?
Maybe, yeah.
You know, maybe there.
It's too busy on I-4 around here.
Yeah, you don't get
I-4.
Right. Hey, then if we got deers that down south, the alligators probably eat them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They ain't gonna survive too long, you know. Hey, K-Lou, you mentioned about Urban Myers, man. He getting fired, and you said what's your thoughts on that, and where you think he's gonna end up at?
Well, so he had to go. I mean, whether it was true or not, it was just 2 minutes. Look at all these rumors around me every day. He got caught up in that, LB. Like it's hard to run a program with that kind of stuff swirling around, because now anything can be true. Now, I only believe about 50% of what we were told, but even that's too much, because once you believe 50%, now you question anything. And so I think you were too big of, he became a distraction. And we all know in pro football, we will take a distraction as long as they're winning for us. But he wasn't winning. So that was the easier, he made it a very easy call. He never really even tried to get out in front of it. He never really tried to right the ship. It just seemed like, to me, he was a bit arrogant about it. Like, just feeling like, okay, man, listen, this is what it is. Y'all take that mess and we moving forward. Like, no, this ain't the media to talk to like that.
Why did he ever take that job to begin with? I know there's only 31, 32 jobs in the NFL, but there are definitely other ones he could have had, couldn't it?
And then, let me answer the second question so y'all can really have something to talk about. You said, where do I see him? So short term, I see him immediately back in TV, right? Yep. Long term, though, I see him still in TV. Him and John Gruden on a podcast, baby. Let's go. Let's go. There you go.
Boy, you silly.
I think he wanted that Notre Dame job. He is, and he's pissed at himself he didn't get out of Jacksonville earlier.
Oh man,
He's gonna wait a year for that or two.
There you go.
That's silly, man. Hey, before I jump on it, let me say this. I found an article on. I was trying to find out Nick Saban current analyst. I can't find it, but here's an article about they call it being an analyst for Nick Saban is the best stepping stone in college football.
Yeah,
came out of two, and I agree. Right? Check this out. Yep. Here's the people who used to be an analyst. Lane Kiffin, who used to be an analyst, right? Steve Sarkisian, like you talk about, Mike Locksley, Butch Jones, Chris Winkie, Mike Stoops, Major Applewhite. Wow. And at one point, Major Applewhite was the head coach at you know what I'm saying? Like he came, yeah. So and then now you add the other names that's there, but So that's your thoughts on Urban, huh? You know what? I know with all that, I still was shocked that he got fired. I didn't think what's his name would make that. I didn't think what's his name would have it just because we'll make that move. You know, like you're right, based on everything that happened. You know, it seemed to me like the right move because especially with all the turmoil stuff that's coming up. You know, with the coaches, he's talking about the coaches, and I agree with you, K-Lou. You said it so well that he didn't get in front of that stuff. Matter of fact, he almost like doubled down on it. He was like, when they was talking about the coaches or somebody's with the rumors, he said, "Well, whoever that is, they getting fired." You know what I'm saying? And I was like,
"What a leak at LV?" That's what he said.
He sound like what man, Joe Clark on Lean on Me. You know. You know, lock
it down.
Yeah. So he was. You're right. He didn't. So I was still shocked just because of who he is. And Double A, this answer your question because to me, when you talk about why he was on paper, being from Florida, going to Jacksonville, Duval County, right? Jaguars, right? Right. I thought on paper it made. It like K-Lou, I use your term, move the needle. I thought that was the move the needle higher, right? You got him out of retirement because you know since he retired once again from Ohio State this time.
Fair enough.
That you know people was knocking on his door, right? So I was like, man, this may work if he puts the right people around him and stuff like that. But man, this thing blew up, and I really thought the owner was all in and he couldn't fire him. So I was shocked, but man, it's crazy.
Well, the kicker gave him cause, man. He's like, I can save $45 million. You know that kicker just got a Christmas check for $4 million.
Yeah, that was so funny.
Thank you.
One of you guys send a emoji talking about who the best kickers in the NFL, and that was crazy. Man, and he was one of them. You know, but but you're right. The guy had to do the right thing. I mean, he had to do it.
What happened though, MB, and you notice what happens most of the time with players. It's weird that we've never really been around a coach that's been like this, so polarized. But the story was always not about the game, but about him.
Yeah.
And so I think, that's why I called it a distraction. I mean, guys are answering, and we've been a part of this where you're answering questions not about the game, but about a guy. And like, what? Like, I don't even know where to go with that. Y'all know more about it than me.
He could have gone 2-15 and still had a job. Jimmy went 1-15 the first year in Dallas.
Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with the record.
Yeah.
It was like it just became a big distraction, right?
Yeah.
And just like we said as coaches, and I said as you tolerate them till you can replace them, and or whatever you tolerate, you encourage. And the dude just got tired of tolerating, and it was just bad because K-Lou, when you talk about he never got in front of it, you know who kept trying to get in front of it? Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying? The quarterback. He was the one like.
He's got more class than Urban does in his finger.
Yeah, because we got to have our best players on the field. He's talking about the running back Robinson when he fumbled, he sat on the bench, didn't play no more, and he was like, yeah, he was the one that seemed like he was saying the stuff that Urban should have been saying.
Should have been saying, yeah.
Right.
He sounded
Trevor
like the
was
coach.
saying it, and we got to win. But I think when you start, and this is no different than a player, right? And I say this, right? When you're, as a player, we talk about, man, hey, when your outside life start affecting your business, hey, man, you got to make some changes. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I thought, based on the comments, initially he had the off the field stuff, with the stand, the few days in Ohio, get caught on video with all that stuff, right? But then now when it started, all the comments now it started come like your behavior, your attitude is affect the players. You got the star receiver. They say he left. They had to beg him to come back home. You got players. It's starting to affect the product on the field. That's when you was like, okay, nah.
Let's be honest, man. Let's tell the real truth. He lost the entire team with the event in Ohio. Because now you one of the boys. Hey, the players that we trying to help out, what's the word? It'll be groom and try to help them grow up and become that man. That's who he was to us. Like, you know what I'm saying? It'll be the guy that you like, hey man, you gotta stay out them streets, man.
Right.
You have to take them to the side and have them hard talks with.
Right.
That was Urban. So you looking at your coach, you like, what? Bruh.
But
I'll say this.
How you going out and I'm going home?
Lou, I will say this though. You're right. It's like that's a great example. Glad you brought it up. But we'll give that player grace, right? But I think the biggest issue, you ain't getting no grace if you sitting in front of the team preaching one message and doing
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's where you lose them. Like you feel me? Like because in our experience, and when we was on the team, like we saw or we heard of the same thing,
right?
But yet we gave him as a coach, right? We gave him grace because he didn't try to act like he's, you
went in front of the team. Come on, get serious round here.
Right. He wasn't. He. And it's unfortunate. I mean, he separated the two.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
It's the Greek philosopher Hippocrates.
Yeah, no doubt. He and unfortunately that that team atmosphere, he separated the two. So you can't be preaching about, hey, you shouldn't be doing that, and then you turn around and do it yourself. Get your hand caught in cookie jar.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I thought the first red flag for him was that hire in the summer.
Oh yeah,
that right off the bat, like that's what you're starting off with. You got a whole free. You can do whatever you want. You got carte blanche. That's where you're gonna start.
Yeah. It just kept adding up. It kept snowballing. Unfortunately, I mean, I like the dude, man. It's a shame. I was hoping that would work out because that owner, I don't know in person, but it just seemed like he's committed on trying to turn this thing around. Mm-hmm. I mean, whatever it takes. So as far as answer, I don't know. I think this may be it for Urban. I think.
I think if Notre Dame doesn't have a good year for 1 or 2 years, I think that they could rehabilitate Urban.
I don't think with all that. I don't know. I think he's still a good enough coach. If somebody D1 wants to hire him, they'll hire him. He'll get retread on that. But I know for sure the NFL, you kiss the baby. That's gone. That's gone. College, I think K-Lou, if he want to, he can get back in. What level? Who knows?
Right.
But just because of because they, like I say, if you want somebody, you'll make a way. If you don't want to, you'll make an excuse. And I mean, his record. That's why he got an opportunity at Jacksonville because of what he did in college, the record and his success. And I think somebody would be like, you know what? Well, hey, it was an NFL, different animal. Blah blah blah. College is better.
He He definitely can get back in. I mean, Lane got back in, you know, that FIU. I think he could take a very similar path that Lane did and maybe not even go, and I don't mean any disrespect, but go even that low.
Right.
He could come in the ACC and get a job in a heartbeat.
Right.
You
no
see
doubt.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and I think,
doubt.
So I think,
or he can go be an analyst at Alabama,
right, and really go get a job after that.
Exactly.
But I don't think that's in the cards for him. I don't think he wants to be out there really. I think he likes the attention, the power, the authority. TV. But I don't think he really wants to be out there coaching full time like that. And I'm gonna tell you where I stole that from is when I heard Rex Ryan talk about it like when they hired him. Not even a year ago, feel like.
Okay.
And then also what Rex just said a couple days ago, where he pointed out like that he talked to him and said he called me. I spoke with him. And Rex basically said, I wish him all the best, but I don't think he's gonna make it because he's saying it's just like college. And he's like, and so Rex said this time, it's not just like college. You don't get to play Miami over Ohio 2 or 3 times.
Right.
And you happen to play Alabama at the end of the year. This is Alabama every week. And it's preparation on steroids, you know, where you got to log in hours to coach against the best. And he was like, he's not going to do that. And his actions showed us he refused to do it because he'd rather go party. And I think that's what he thought, that he could come out, that the assistants would do all the heavy lifting, and then he'd show up and be the savior. And he ain't even hired the right assistants for that because he got guys with lack of experience at that level just like he did and thought he was really going to, you know, do it. I always look at, and for whatever reason, I just had this conversation with somebody, MB. I said, it amazes me how the most arrogant coaches in the world always are on the offensive side of the ball. Like, I never understand that because they really feel like it's their system. Defensive coaches know darn well if I don't have a Mike mean as MB, this ain't gonna work. If I don't have a defensive end putting pressure like Michael Strahan, this ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? They talk in terms of people. Offensive coordinators are only ones I hear hollering about their system all the time. And I really feel like he falls into that category, feeling like his system is what time it is.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. What would be the move the need to hire for Jacksonville Jaguars?
Shucks, I don't want to move the needle if I'm Jacksonville. I want to be safe.
Okay,
so I think a safe coach, an old school guy that you know is gonna come in and at least right the ship and give you some time to get a team together, to build the team. You know what? A guy, and it just came to my head. A retread. You definitely, you know, and I'm generally against retreads, but you definitely need a retread after that situation. Just to right the ship and bring like a sense of normalcy. And I say a guy like Denny Green. Now, Denny Green may not even be interested anymore.
No. Who?
Denny.
No, don't call him.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying like somebody that's
I'm
just
saying somebody similar to Denny Green.
Yes, somebody similar to.
They got to go back to what coach they had. You got to go back to a Jack Del Rio.
Yeah,
you got to go back to someone who's going to.
I don't know about Jack.
Not that he's the right guy, but you need.
Remember, he's been there already.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You were talking about a retread.
In that he's coached before and been a head guy,
right.
But just a stopgap type of guy. Like, hey man, we gonna give you a 4-year. We gonna give you 2. You know what I'm saying? Like,
who
that is, MB?
You got anybody in your mind like a Denny Green? That's like you talk about Denny Green as far as similar to him. Anybody come to your mind like that that's out there that's currently available?
Shoot, pull them off their couch, but I don't even know. But I'm just saying, a guy that's just gonna come in and really just give the players like, hey man, this is a real head coach. This how he act. No, that's some more foolishness.
You just said it. You just said a good one. And what about Rex Ryan or his brother? Why don't you bring in the brothers?
No,
Rex,
so
Rex gonna be as polarizing as
Yeah. So say K-Lou, to me, it's like, and this is a conversation I had with Jason. Like he already done that in this regards, right? And I agree with he done that. Like Tom Coughlin, right? He already did that. He was the first coach in their history. Went to the Giants, won the Super Bowl. He brought Tom back to run the show. Right?
You know that was foolishness, though.
I'm just saying he brought him back to run it, but that's the like he brought the him to run it back, and but Tom
I don't think you need a flash. But if you have to have a flash, you can't even go get what everybody's doing now. Young, vibrant college guy. You can't even do that after Irvin.
No, and to me he already. Yeah, you're right. And to me, Irvin kind of fit that college guy.
He ruined that.
Right. Here's what I was saying.
Let's Dabo.
I saw this. That I use your term, move the needle, and maybe he can fix it. Right.
Right.
And it's that term, once you go black, you never go back. Right? My man Brian Leftwich.
Who?
Byron Leftwich.
Oh wow.
I like that.
OC at Super Bowl.
He's been there.
And he was a QB.
He was a QB there.
Yeah.
So I heard somebody bring up that name, and I was like, you know what? That will. I don't know Brian personally, like as a close friend, but I was like, man,
for Trevor Lawrence, that would be great.
Coach Tom Brady, for 1 year, whatever, right? Won the Super Bowl. He's an offensive coordinator.
And I don't know if I would take that job if I was Byron, though.
That's what I'm thinking. That's the question. Do you
want
that thing now?
Why not?
Because it's a mess. And so do I go in there and it's and not get involved? Like I'm looking at the leadership saying, man, y'all let that go on for 6, 7, 8 weeks. As a matter of fact, you let it go on after he tried to bring that strength coach in there. He should have been gone. Like, I'm making those kind of assessments. Like, yeah, it's a great job because it's an NFL head coaching job. Yeah, but, man, if he wants to have some longevity, he waits.
I don't know, K-Lou. I would do it, and I would say this, right? When you talk about, you're right, management let it go on, right? They just had to do. Well, it was the owner because Urban – he had power, full control of everything.
Right.
It was like meaning like he picked the general manager. He picked everybody. He had control of everything. So to me, like the owner, I'm just outside looking at. I don't know. The owner he's committed. He seems like he wants to win so bad, and they got a lot of draft capital. They got a lot of draft picks. They got Trevor Lawrence.
You're going to have another number one.
They're going to have another number one pick, right? The owners, being a small market team, if you want to consider Jack, he's committed on spending the money, doing what it takes, right? On the outside looking in, right? I think it'll be great because now Leftwich, they need him, Like you said, they need him as far as a poster boy to get this thing right, and he's part of Jacksonville. I think they need him. Like I think I don't know the other candidates I would consider, but I think they need him, even though he's.
Hey, there we go, MB. Bring back Dungeon. Let Dungeon sit there for 2 years.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah.
For 2 years. Sit there for 2 years. Tony, we just want you to fix us. For 2 years and you get on out of town. We'll pay you 15 a year. You make 2 year 30 billion, we'll write an extra 20 for the next 2 years. We'll give you a 4-year deal, but you only stay in 2.
But you know what, K-Lou? I mean, right, wrong, or difference. I mean, Tom Coughlin, when he came in, man, he
cleaned it up,
put some talent on that field. Yeah. And then they went fire sale. They started getting rid of it. You remember they went to the AFC Championship and should have beat the Patriots.
But that's also when Fournette checked out on that started the exodus.
No, I'm talking about the incident happened, and whatever happened, they started it was fire sale next year. They let a lot of great talent get out of there,
Right.
But so I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I think if on the outside looking in, I think it's because of young quarterback, got a lot of draft picks. The owners seem like he's committed on, want to really win, I think he'll be a good fit. And then for Brian Leftwich, that's my thought.
I like it. I think it's a creative, smart choice. I think you should be his agent.
No, trust me, they already
I know.
they already saying it, And I'm gonna see if I can find the whoever else they talked about,
He could bring in Maurice Jones-Drew as his offensive coordinator.
There you go. Oh man, yeah, I don't know. So, but yeah. Oh, Doug Peterson, K-Lou is one.
Doug Peterson's not a bad choice.
Yeah.
You got Trevor Lawrence sitting there, and they haven't ruined him. So and he isn't as beat up. He's thrown a lot of picks, but so did Manning in his first year. You could.
Hey Lou, here's the closest thing I got to a Denny Green, Jim Caldwell.
There you go.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You just need somebody just to right the ship and make it a pro destination again.
Right.
That's it. I'm not saying these guys need to be your guys, but this is the time where it makes sense to have a stopgap.
Right. Well,
bring in Caldwell as your GM and let Leftwich be your coach. Do a 2-for-1.
Hey, here's the I think you need proven a GM right now. Hey, they need to get Jerry Reese. They need to get Jerry Reese. They need to get Jerry, 2-time Super Bowl winning general manager for the New York Giants. They need to get him to be the GM, and they need to bring in, like I said, they need to do some. They need to go. Usually, you go opposite, right? You usually go one way, and you go opposite. And hiring a Jerry Reese, not only is he 2-time winning Super Bowl general manager, but he's African American as well. Mm-hmm. Then you turn around and hire Brian Leftwich or Jim Caldwell or I think that'll be good. And then here's the names they got, K-Lou, double A, Jim Caldwell, Brian Dabo, the offensive coordinator for Buffalo Bills. I don't know how you say his last name. Eric Bieniemy, Doug Peterson, Josh McDaniels, Brian Leftwich. That's the candidates.
Yeah.
All right, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, that's a good list. I'm not taking it from Eric or Byron, though. I'm sorry.
You say what?
I'm not taking that situation. I would take it after the 2-year of Jim Caldwell or anybody else, but I'm not taking it. I need to see some stuff in place. I don't think if you're those young guys like that, man, because they probably not gonna get another opportunity once they take that first one. And I'm gonna make sure mine has some stuff in place, not that we building here, that we already got a quarterback. We already got a front office that's I can see their plan. They're gonna have to sell me, not me sell him on me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but K-Lou, and that's a great point. What about though if they give you the same power they gave Urban in this regards, right? Like the 49ers did this, right? Because a lot of times, right, these coaches they're hiring these, like you talk about Adam Gase, right? They gave him full control of the roster, full control of the final 3, right? But look at this. Let's take a book out of the 49. What's your thoughts on this? And we can go after this. Take a page out of 49er page in regards to this. They hired John Lynch and Kyle Strahan together. They tied them in together. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
They brought, so
that makes more sense. That's giving me like, hey, we're a team already type of feel.
Yes.
But I'm not taking that job like as it exists.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, you got to get the next guy because, like I said, all the guys pretty much in the front office are Urban hires.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna have to come in with your own guy or partnership. And for me, this thing like Batman and Robin, I see Jerry Reese and Brian Leftwich, or I'm promoting Jerry Reese or Jim Caldwell, or whoever. I think that'll be proven. Or
I don't think the enemy goes anywhere. He's got Andy Reid's seat whenever he wants it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eric's gonna leave. He's definitely gonna leave because
Andy Reid will never go.
And they ain't going nowhere. So he's definitely leaving, but I'm telling you, like I told MB from the beginning, when he didn't accept that first round of jobs, I was like, he ain't gonna take anything.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I wouldn't too, because you know what? You've seen a lot of guys come for him, especially being minority. You may not get another chance.
That's what I'm talking about.
You may be, one and done.
Hey, he might be waiting on Mike Tomlin to finally say that's it. Go right over there. Because there's stability there in the organization.
Right.
They ain't trying to get rid of no coach. They're trying to give you everything you need because they believe in success in Pittsburgh. And so they've had probably the least amount of coaches in NFL history.
Yeah, right.
They've had three.
But see what I'm saying?
Chuck Noll, Cowher,
that's why I think, and I know what you're saying. That's why I say Jacksonville, because the last two coaches he gave them 4 years.
Yeah.
It seemed like he wants to win. Those established, like Pittsburgh, that established that franchise.
He might want to win, but he don't know who to hire. He might want to win, but he obviously has shown that he doesn't know who to hire.
Man.
Yeah. We got to find out. We got to see. I got to see the real backstory on that and see just how he is. But so that's the thing. So I know we got to go, man. Well, we got some games. Do you want to go, K-Lou, or you?
Yeah, I gotta go. Y'all know it's my time. So I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. See y'all next week.
Peace.
All right, we out, man. Go ahead and close it out. All right, man. Double A, appreciate you, bro. All right, from Sideline, appreciate you guys watching, coming on, man. What you say? What about John Lynch? Yeah, no doubt. But I don't know if John Lynch will leave San Fran. I don't know. Maybe it's time. But anyway, guys, appreciate y'all coming on to watch. Y'all take care. Happy holidays. Thanks. God bless. Hey, Monica, love you, girl.